The T26E4 SuperPershing is an American Tier 8 premium medium tank. To increase firepower, a new long-barreled 90mm gun was mounted on the T26E1 in the January of 1945. Prototype was designated as the T26E4. Development was discontinued in the January of 1947 due to problems with the gun and the loading mechanism. A total of 25 vehicles has been built by the time, but never entered mass service. In World of Tanks, it's a premium medium tank that relies on its armor to go through the enemy lines. But let's see how it fares through some gameplay. Hello guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks Ace Tanker series. As you can see, today we'll be driving the T26E4 SuperPershing, and driving the SuperPershing is Nemanja. As we can see, the map is Serene Coast, and I believe I didn't have any replays featured on this map, and I believe that I didn't have any replays also with the SuperPershing, so this is a good opportunity for me to say a couple of things about the tank and say a couple of things about the map itself and how you should play it. So, as you can see, the majority of the medium tanks and the light tanks are rushing towards the position on the C1. That's usually where you want to be with your medium and light tanks, or with your heavy tanks if they are pretty fast, like say for example an FCM in Tier 8. So, why do you go there? Well, that's the main flanking route, if I can say so, for the enemy position, and you can see that the enemies are also contesting that position. It's a nice sniping position from which you can basically shoot into the enemy cap and provide support on the middle. Now, usually on that side, the friendly team, you can see the Tiger 2 and the E25 are, well, let's say defending, but they're sniping from that position and trying to put off the enemies that are trying to cross over and shoot on the friendlies. So yeah, the positioning is pretty nice and it is pretty important, but on the other side where Nemanja is with his SuperPershing, you can see that the heavy tanks are usually going. So yeah, Nemanja is driving a medium tank, but this tank can be considered a heavy tank because it has that much armor on the front. And the positioning that he took is a really nice one for this tank, because it allows him to be well held down on this ridge here and use the gun depression of his tank to not allow the enemies to shoot at the weak points of the tank. Now, there is only a couple of weak points on this tank. That's the, well, I call them binoculars on the top of the tank. That's the catch on the right side. Do not try and shoot for the left catch, it's not even modeled, so you're just wasting shells. Now you saw a really nice shot there by Nemanja. He put the shot into the second weak point of the tank, and that is beneath the gun shield where you can put shots. I believe it's 150mm of penetration that you need to go through that armor, but that is something that is good to know. And the third weak point is the small machine gun that Nemanja just hit now, and yeah, that is what you have to be careful about when you are driving your SuperPershing. Other than that, you have I believe 250mm of armor on the lower plate, and you have over 300mm of armor on the upper plate, and that armor is also spaced armor, so you have to be really careful if you are going to fire, well, if you are going to fire AG or heat shells. They are going to just get absorbed. So if you are going to fight with this tank, what you want to do is, you can see that Nemanja knows the weak points of this enemy SuperPershing, as he is driving one as well. If you want to fight with this tank, the best bet for you is to go for the sides of the tank, because it's not that mobile, and with the good mobile tanks, or let's say for example light tanks, you are able to, well, go through the flanking maneuver on the SuperPershing and basically not allow him to turn to kill you, because it turns very, very slowly, and that's one of your advantages when fighting against this tank. Now, I didn't talk about the gun. The gun is not that great. It has 170mm of penetration with the standard shells, but if you need some more penetration, you can always load premium ammo, and that's goes up to 250 something, I don't know exact number. But that's enough for the tier 9s that you are going to meet, because this tank, as I said, is a premium tank, and also it gets the premium matchmaking. Now you can see one of the disadvantages of the tank, of the gun. It cannot reliably go through the armor of the IS, and that's a tier 7, and you're going to be fighting tier 8s and tier 9s, so keep in mind that, and that you're going to have to fire some, well, a couple of premium shells to go through the armor of the enemy tanks. Now I didn't talk much about the game itself. The enemy tanks were able to finish off the friendlies that were trying to contest the position on the C1, and they are now trying to fight off with the rest of the friendly tanks, and, well, on the Nemanja side, on the heavy side. So he's in a nice position here. He is spotted by this M4E3 E2, so he needs to be careful when going up, and he has the IS and the T20 shooting at him. Now here is what you will see, the use of the gold ammo on this tank. Now he is fighting with the I6. If he was to shoot the regular shells, there is no way that this tank could penetrate the I6 from the front. And you can see that it struggles with the premium shells if he hits the, well, armored T28 prototype. So this is why you have to have a couple of premium shells with this tank, and at the end we are going to see what's the credit potential of this tank. Bear in mind that Nemanja fired, that this is like 7 shells of premium, so at the end we are going to see what's the score with the credit making. So yeah, 2 premium shells left, and he has the I6 in front of him. Now you can see that the I6, it looks like he knows where to shoot. Nemanja puts a great one in the tracks of the I6, puts another one tracks him because the reload on the Super Pershing is better. Now he has to penetrate with the regular shells, but he has a great angle here on the track of the I6, and that's it. That's the kill on the most dangerous tanks, and all that's left to do here now is to kill the IS, and the Rheinmetall kills him. That's a GG. Let's take a look at the post-game stats. Nemanja had a really nice game here. He got a couple of medals like Bruiser, Duelist, Fire for Effect, Shellproof, Confederate, Steel Wall, High Caliber, and of course the Mastery Badge Ace Tanker. On team score sheet we can see that he did over 5000 damage, 3 kills and 1594 experience. On detailed report we can see that he fired 32 shots, of which 30 hit the target and 23 penetrated. He was also able to block 3660 damage, and that gives you the idea of the armor on the Super Pershing. And with the premium account he was able to score 92,000 credits, even though he fired 11 premium shells. Now let's just take a look back and summarize what we saw in this gameplay. We saw that the Super Pershing is a capable machine to push even on the heavy side and fight off with the equal tier number. Nemanja played it excellent, as he was playing on the ridgeline, using the 10 degrees of gun depression to his advantage and not allowing the enemies to shoot at his weak points. At the end of the game he had to use some premium shells to go through the heavily armored tanks like the T28 prototype and the I6, but all in all it was a great gameplay and he was able to finish it off with ease. As always guys, if you liked the video, like it. If you dislike it, dislike it. If you have a comment, leave it in the comment section down below. If you're wondering what to watch next, you can see the previous video. It will be linked in the small I button in the top right corner. As always, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you guys like this one, and I'll see you in the next.